The Indianapolis Motor Speedway serves as the pinnacle for open-wheel racing, and it also now provides an opportunity for development to help young drivers reach their ultimate goal, the Indianapolis 500. Hello and welcome to the world's greatest race course for the second of 4 quarterly highlight shows on NBCSN, focusing on the first 2 steps of the Mazda Road to Indy ladder, USF 2000 and Pro Mazda. I'm Kevin Lee, along with former Pro Mazda and Indy Lights driver Anders Krohn. Well, we're 5 and 6 races into the 2015 schedule. What have we seen develop so far in USF 2000?
Well, USF 2000, Kevin, has been all about the returning drivers of Aaron Telitz, Nico Jamin, and Jake Edson. They have been the head of the field the entire season so far, and now the rookies have to catch up to them.
Starting to learn some things in Pro Mazda too. Who is standing out there?
Again, it's the returning driver, Neil Alberico. He's won 3 out of the 5 races so far, and he's proving to be the class of the field. But we have 2 rookies. Santi Arusha and Wei-Ron Tan have both won races and are catching up quickly.
Well, these young drivers get to spend most of the month in Indianapolis, not only racing at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the road course, but also on the oval at Lucas Oil Raceway the day before the Indianapolis 500. Our shows also feature lap-by-lap coverage, and we start with the first of 2 races here for USF 2000. And Nico Jamin had the pole in this event with Aaron Telitz to his outside. They are 2 of the championship contenders, 2nd and 3rd in the championship. Jake Edson starting on the inside of 2. He is the championship leader. And you'll see the rest of the field as the cars pace their way around Anders, this 14-turn, nearly 2.5-mile road course.
Yeah, it always provides amazing racing here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway ever since the road course has come into play, and no doubt this will be no different.
On the south end of the race course, getting prepared to make their way back onto the oval, using part of the oval and part of the road course that was redesigned last year and to rave reviews in 2014 among all series, Anders.
Every single one of the drivers and teams love this track, and it's such a long stretch down here. As you can see, the leaders start accelerating here, half a mile all the way down to turn 1.
Teammates starting side by side in the front row. Jamin has the red roll bar and an orange helmet. Telitz with the right roll bar, and Edson in the black car behind him. And there he peeks to the inside, so they're 3 wide going into turn 1. Who's going to get there first? It's the pole sitter, Jamin, then Telitz, then Edson, and cars turned around in the back.
That's Yufeng Lo turned around there, and James Stason involved in that as well. So easy to happen here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Very, very tight turn 1, and as we can see, full course yellow out.
And Yufeng Lo started 4th. So one of the early contenders starting up front comes out of there without the rear wing. Let's take a look again. So 2 stories. We're watching the front and then the contact there from 4th and 5th position, and it looks like Luke Gabin in the Soul Red car was one of those involved.
Yeah, it just looked like Luke was all the way at the inside there, and Yufeng Lo had no idea he was there. Turns in and gets his right rear hooked, and he goes around, and then he sustains further damage from James Stason there, just running into him.
One of the Pelfrey cars there in the yellow also involved. So one more look at it as we see Lowe going around.
And we've seen this time and time again. Look at this, Luke Gabin so late on the brakes there, tries to avoid him, tries to go over that curb, but just bumps into him. Yufeng has no idea he's there.
On board now with Yufeng Lo.
Yeah, as you can see, Yufeng just had no idea he was on the inside there at all, so that's a great shame for him. Great rookie driver coming into the series, so that's a shame for him to see. And James Stason, look at that, 3 wide, just tries to avoid it, and it just has nowhere to go. Almost manages to make it.
So we're going to get an early restart. The pole sitter, Nico Jamin, maintains the early advantage. This is the Mazda Road to Indy, our second quarter highlight show. The month of May spent in Indianapolis. This is USF 2000, the first of a pair of races at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and an early restart with the pole sitter on lap 3, Nico Jamin still in front, Aaron Telitz, his teammate behind him, and Jake Edson in the black car in the 3rd position, and the 2 teammates, Anders, are going side by side into 1, and it is Telitz going around the outside.
Look at this great move for Telitz, but now he's going to squeeze his teammate wide, and that's going to allow Edson to come into 2nd place. Wow! Nico Jamin all the way down to the 3rd, now maybe in 4th. No, he is going to make that. This is drama on the opening lap.
So Edson gets to 2nd position.
And there is Listashkin going around.
Oh, he just clobbered the curb there in turn 5, 6, bottomed out and spun that car around. So he's going to fall all the way back to the pack there.
Aaron Telitz took over the advantage, getting to second position. Edson moved to second position, and Jameen fell back to third. Let's go back and look at this restart again. On board Nico Jameen through turns 1 and 2.
Oh, look at this. Aaron Telitz so smart there, just running him a little bit wide coming off turn 2 and gains a bit of an advantage. His teammate is not going to be happy about that at all. And look at this racing here. Kayvon Sori and Garth Rickards here on the inside into turn 12. There's so much racing at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course. It's just crazy. Every single time we come here, the racing is fantastic.
Tyler Hunter there cutting through the grass, but is able to keep it on and keep it together. He'll just lose a few positions. He's making his first start this weekend in USF 2000.
And that was a big shame for him because he was actually running really, really well there. Not only is he a rookie to the series, but Swan Motorsports is a rookie team as well coming into USF 2000. So that was a great run for them until he went off the track just there.
Hunter is a 22-year-old from Denver, Colorado. A look back through the field and more mixing it up here for position.
Look at this, 2 Australians of Luke Gavin and Anthony Martin going side by side through turn 4, then single file again. But these guys have been battling it out hard all year long so far, and the battle continues.
Gavin was involved in some contact at the start of the race, but he has maintained his relative position. There he is in the sole red car in 5th position as the winner of last year's Skip Barber Summer Series and getting the Mazda Speed Scholarship.
And just look at this battle here between Kayvon Andresori and Garth Rickards going back and forwards with each other now through that technical sector, turn 8, 9, 10, and now they're going to come into a hard braking zone here in turn 12, which is Garth's next opportunity to pounce, but he's a little bit too far back right now to make a move.
You might say there are only a couple of areas to pass, but we've seen more than that with USF 2000 and Pro Mazda. But whether you can pass or not, these sections are setting you up for turn 1 and turn 7. Got to be close enough to pounce.
And the key to it all with the IMS road course is just how long those straights are. It gives you a great opportunity to catch up on that draft of the car ahead of you and just roll right up on their gearbox and then pop out. And look at this, Nico Jameen is going to try and do just that, shows himself in the mirror, can't quite get it done.
Jameen looked from 3rd position on Jake Edson. Out front, it's Aaron Telitz, who took the lead on the lap 3 restart after the early caution.
And it's a really interesting storyline here because the leader right now of Aaron Telitz is racing for Cape Motorsports. Now, Jake Edson in that black car is racing for Pabst Racing, but last year he was a driver for Cape Motorsports. So all these 3 guys have a lot of experience with each other and with each other's teams. And Jake clearly right now is going to want to have the advantage over his old team.
Telitz, a 23-year-old from Rice Lake, Wisconsin. He comes in 3rd in the championship. Edson is the championship leader, also a young American, still just 19 years old, from Memphis, Tennessee, lives in Florida now. And Edson has been on the podium in every race so far this season, swept the opener at St. Petersburg, the 2 races there.
And he just did such a great job last year building up momentum in his USF 2000 rookie campaign with Cape Motorsports, ending the championship in 3rd place and having some wins to go with it towards the end of the year. But he's really unleashed his potential so far this year. But look at this now, Nico Jameen going to try and get into that draft here down that long front straightaway. Is he going to do it? Nico Jameen is going to pop to the outside, and let's see if he can make it stick around the outside. Not quite.
And that's what makes turn 1 here so fun. You're going to see drivers go to the inside to try to block that position. Perfectly legal as long as it's not in reaction to someone else. But there's enough room sometimes to go around the outside there.
Yeah, there's plenty of room, and especially with the massive amounts of draft you get around this track, it's really quite easy to make a pass also around the outside, but you do have to be close on the corner prior to. So he's going to try and do the same here in the brake zone into turn 7. Not quite as easy to get it done here, but he's clearly got the pace advantage right now. So what he's got to do right now, what he's got to be thinking is just pile on the pressure on Jake Edson, and he will make a mistake. But Jake, as we've seen so far this year, has been so picture perfect. And look at this, Isla Ogren and Max Hanratty going at it.
Ogren in the yellow car in the middle of that pack of 3 cars. The 6th car is Max Hanratty from Wisconsin. He's 21 years old. And then it's Ogren in the yellow car. And the third car there with Pabst Racing, also making his debut in this series, is Sam Chastain, a 22-year-old from Noblesville, Indiana, just north of Indianapolis.
And he's made the step up the ladder as well from the F1600 Championship. So him and Isla Ogren were actually teammates for Brian Hurd Autosport in F1600 a couple of years ago. She then went on to win the championship last year, and he has now made the step up to USF 2000 this weekend with JDC Motorsports. So it's great to see him stepping up into the Mazda Road to Indy.
Good racing throughout the pack. And Ogren is going to take a look here going into turn 1, not going to find an opportunity there. Back up front, it's still one of the Cape Motorsports cars. Aaron Telitz with Edson chasing him, and Jameen has been working on Edson for quite a while.
And look at this, does he have the run now? Edson's going to go all the way down to the inside here. Jameen's going to have to go the long way around in that brake zone for turn 7. He is going to back off, but now he's going to have the advantage. Now he can do the high-low here into turn 8. And now 9, look at this, can he figure something out for turn 12? That's where he's got to try and get him set up for, but not quite close enough right now. But just look at how much that car of Jake Edson is moving around. He's clearly driving that thing to the absolute limit.
You can't go around the outside to 7, but you can, by setting up the crossover, maintain that close distance, and that's what Edson, or rather Jameen, is doing here to Edson.
Yeah, he's going to just try and put as much pressure as possible, but also by forcing Edson to go to the inside, he's going to have to brake really, really hard offline, where there's a lot of dirty gravel, a lot of rubber, and the grip isn't as good on the inside as it is on the ideal braking zone. So here we go again. He's forced all the way down to the inside, and now Jameen, is he going to be able to outbrake him? He's got a lot better position this time. Look at that, Jake Edson. Real pro there, just releasing the brake, and now side by side through turn 2. These guys are going at it.
And while all this is happening, Aaron Telitz is saying, thank you very much, I'll stretch it out a little bit. Nearly side by side here through this complex too. And Jameen is all over Edson. And is he going to be close enough? Just stay right there and maybe get him going into turn 7. But you know, Edson is going to make him go the long way.
This is just great racing, but you know what this is enabling? It's enabling Telitz pulling away. He's pulled a 3-second advantage right now, so he is clearly a lot faster than these two guys right now. Look at this, outside through turn 7, which means he has the inside for 8, but then the outside of turn 9 again, but then the inside of turn 10. Wow, he gets that move done. Wow.
But is he going to slide too wide? Edson trying to come back? No. Great work by Nico Jameen, but Edson isn't ready to give this up yet. He'll stay right on his rear wing as they come back onto the oval. Edson swings it wide. 2 more turns to come back through the infield course, and the racing continues to heat up. That's the battle for second. Meanwhile, up front, Aaron Telitz leads in USF 2000. This is the Mazda Road to Indy on NBCSN with Anders Krohn and Kevin Lee back at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in USF 2000, and we're now under yellow. Contact just a moment ago between Parker Thompson and Kayvon Anders Sori, and we're heading down to the final 6 or 7 minutes of this 30-minute event, and there is the look at what happened between Anders Sori and Thompson.
Just a really, really late move to the inside there. I'm not even sure Parker Thompson knew that Kayvon was going to come to the inside there. Look, no, he just slides straight into his side pod. Parker had no idea what was coming there.
So meanwhile, this is not good for Aaron Telitz, who had built up a huge advantage on Nico Jameen and Jake Edson, who have been fighting for position. Jameen just got him for second position. So we're around 5 minutes remaining. A restart on lap 14. It's Telitz in front, then his teammate Jameen in second. He's going to pop to the outside. Edson in the black car is third. He's going to go to the inside, and we're going to see 3 wide again into turn number 1. And Telitz goes into the grass, and he's going to fall back and lose several positions. Edson jumps out to the front. That's Anthony Martin, who was in 4th position, getting through in 2nd place.
Massive drama there on the restart, and what a disaster for Aaron Telitz this is. He was dominating this race, and it's now all the way down in 5th place. Wow.
Let's take a look again as they went 3 wide into turn number 1. This is on board with Telitz.
Telitz just outbrakes himself, locks up that inside wheel, and oh, he's so lucky not to take out his teammate Nico Jameen and Luke Abbin there. But look at this move here from Nico Jameen. He's just so late on the brakes, but then he forces Telitz to outbrake himself, and he does the over and under. But the really smart guy here is Jake Edson. Look at this, just brakes a little bit conservatively and makes it through that corner in first place. A lot of action here.
And Anthony Martin was fourth on the restart. That's him second in line right there for John Comiskey Racing. He gets through in second, but now he's going to be challenged.
Nico Jamin on the inside there into turn 12. He gets that spot, and now he's got to chase after Jake Edson. Keep in mind, Jake Edson and Nico Jamin are fighting tooth and nail for the championship at this point, so they've got to fight for every position they can.
So Jamin gets back to second. That's where he was on the restart. Edson was third on the restart and has a sizable advantage as they finish that lap. And time continues to dwindle here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the first of a pair of races this weekend in USF 2000. And that's Hanratty with some damage in the front. He was running a little further back, but that's going to continue to have a major impact on his day.
And look at this, a late move down the inside for James Stason. Right there on Tyler Hunter. He couldn't quite make it stick, but that was late on the brakes there for James Stason.
Up front, Edson. And that lead has shrunk a little bit here since last time by.
Yeah, Nico Jamin has just got to put himself together here. Look at this, Luke Gavin late on the brakes into turn 7. Can't quite do anything with Anthony Martin this time, but he clearly has the pace right now as we see Aaron Thielitz now hot on the heels of Luke Gavin. Can he do something in the closing laps here? He really needs to be able to gather enough points for the championship.
Thielitz in the white car is 5th right now. We know he's fast. He's got to be able to deal with the frustration along with the fact that he has a good car. He probably can't win, but he can still make up some spots.
He's just got to be so frustrated right now, and you can see it in his driving style. He's desperate right now for any position he can take. Keep in mind, he finished 4th in the championship last year. He was so strong. He won the night before the 500 event last year and was arguably the strongest rookie coming into this season as a sophomore driver. And this year, he's got the pressure. He's with the best team. And look at this outside move on Luke Gavin now. He's got to be so late on the brakes here to get that move to stick. And does he? Oh, he locks up yet again. That's not good for his inside right front tire. He's just abusing that tire, and you can see the flat spot on the right front tire. That's not good for that Cooper tire.
Thielitz makes it stick, though, and he moves up to the 4th position. And now he'll go to work on Anthony Martin. Thielitz 3rd in the championship coming in. Jamin is 2nd. And Edson is the championship leader, and he leads the race.
And boy, what a day this would be for Pabst Racing. And Jake Edson again in that black machine there up front. He's been so good all year long, just so consistent, never putting a foot wrong. And when we saw him in St. Petersburg with that double win, we thought maybe this is it. Maybe he's going to dominate the entire season. But then the Cape Motorsports boys of Aaron Thielitz and Nico Jamin rather have just elevated their level and are so strong right now. And as is Anthony Martin here in his John Comiskey Racing entry. So strong and such a good team, only being a 2nd-year team here. And Anthony Martin, straight off the boat from Australia, has done a great job so far.
We're probably about 2.5 laps looking at the time limit from this one going to completion. We will not see the white flag this time by as they come back on the main straightaway. And there we see the battle for 3rd position once again. Thielitz trying to go around the outside of Martin, and it looks like he's going to beat him to the corner. Will he overcook it this time? No, he clears him and takes a nice line into turn 1.
Beautiful pass there, just drafts around the outside of Anthony Martin, and there's really nothing Anthony Martin can do at that point in time. The Cape Motorsports cars are always very well prepared, as we see Sam Chastain now going side by side with Augie Lurch through turn 2. That's for a position slightly further down the field, but as you can see, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway just creates battles wherever in the field you are.
Edson trying to hang on up front and hang on to his championship lead. But Nico Jamin is not done with him yet. The 19-year-old from France, living in Florida now. And further back in the pack, battles for positions still to be determined.
This is actually a great debut here for Sam Chastain. First race ever in the USF 2000 Championship. First time with JDC Motorsports, and he's done a real good impression here on his first outing, so we hopefully can see him back in the series sometime soon.
And the gap is closed. Edson by about 2 car lengths now. back on the main straightaway. Will we see the white flag this time by? Yes, we will. 1 lap to go at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Edson trying to hold off Nico Jameen. Jameen second in line in the white car. Looks outside.
Oh, surely he can't pull that move off. No, not this time. Oh, Edson runs wide and he gives the lead to Nico Jameen. Wow, he just outbreaks himself by a little bit, and it's enough for Jameen to get through. What a disaster on the final lap there. Jake Edson had a perfect opportunity to extend his championship lead there, but he falls back, and now Nico Jameen is in the catbird seat.
Let's look one more time. It almost worked out as an over-under type move for Jameen. Outside, he sees he can't get there, so I'll try to beat him through the corner, and I will.
Oh, exactly the same move he pulled on Aaron Telitz on the restart there, so what a move for Nico Jameen. He has proved to be the quickest guy all weekend long, and now he's back in the lead after a lot of fighting.
And Jameen has survived turn 7. That's the next best passing opportunity. They're back at the south end, so 3 more corners to go. This right-hander is turn number 12. Edson trying to fight and stay within range in case Jameen makes a mistake. He will not here. And he should be home free. Nico Jameen back on the main straightaway, and the 19-year-old from France is going to win at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in USF 2000.
Massive win here for Nico Jameen and his Cape Motorsports boys. There you see them cheering him on. What a win that was, and a lot of back and forwards and a lot of fighting, and that was a hard-fought victory for him.
It's the 3rd win of the season for Nico Jameen, his 2nd straight, and the PFC award to the winning owner goes to Cape Motorsports with Wayne Taylor Racing. The Stobley Award goes to Luke Gavin, and the Tilton Hard Charger Award, Augie Lurch, went from 15th to 10th. And notice the veterans up near the front, the newcomers on page 2. Let's hear from the winner now, Nico Jameen.
Yeah, that was a crazy race, and on the last lap, after the restart, I was like 4 car lengths from Jake, and I saw I was coming back. So when I saw that it was a white flag, I knew I had something to do, you know. I went on the outside of the first corner. We both braked very late. He locked up the tires, went a little bit straight, and then I could run the outside of turn 2, and that was it. Before the race, I said to the media, my dream is to win a race at Indianapolis, and I did the pole, and now I win the race, so it's really awesome.
Big day for Nico Jameen, and he's the winner of the Replay XD move of the race, getting by Jake Edson for 2nd. They battled for several corners.
Yeah, look at this around the outside of turn 7. Then he had the inside for turn 8, but then he was back on the outside through turn 9, which eventually gave him the inside for turn 10. So what a battle these two had all race long.
That was midway through the race, and the weekend continued in spectacular fashion. Nico Jameen winning the 2nd race on the road course at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in early May. Aaron Telitz moves up a spot to 2nd. Anthony Martin gets a podium. Luke Gavin and Yufeng Lo bounces back after a rough race number 1. And Edson finished all the way back in the 12th position. And then it was to the short oval, just a little bit west of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And Jake Edson winning at Lucas Oil Raceway. Jameen finishes 2nd this time. Then it's Aaron Telitz with another podium. That has been a common theme throughout the season. Those 3 have been battling it out week in and week out. So we're past the midpoint of the season now. 9 of 16 are complete. And it's Jameen, Edson, and Telitz battling for the championship, and Jameen has the advantage. Coming up, we'll highlight Pro Mazda on NBCSN. This is the Mazda Road to Indy recap from the month of May. With Anders Krohn, I'm Kevin Lee. We move on to the 2nd step of the Mazda Road to Indy ladder, and it's Pro Mazda racing 3 times on the road course at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The first was a makeup from a rained-out race at NOLA, and Wear on Tan of Andretti Autosport got his 2nd win of the season. Timothy Beret of Juncos finishes 2nd, and Neil Alberico on the podium, and Alberico is the championship leader. And here's how the championship stacks up going into race number 2. Alberico by a dozen points on Santi Urrutia. Tan moves up to 3rd, then Beret in 4th, and Pato Award in the 5th position. So a 2nd opportunity at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the 14-turn, nearly 2.5-mile road course, and this is how they will line up. He had started on the front row in 2 of the last 3, but Timothy Beret gets his first pole of the season. Urrutia on his outside. Florian Latour, take note, starting in the inside of row number 2, had a nasty rollover in race number 1 yesterday, and his crew was working until 3 a.m. to get him ready. Will Owen on the outside of row number 2, and yesterday's winner, Weiron Tan, starts in the inside of row 3, and you can see and have seen the rest of the grid.
And here's how closely fought Pro Mazda is at the moment. The top 14 qualified within a second of each other in the qualifying, so it's so close right now, and this race should be so action-packed.
Beret is in the green and white car, Urrutia yellow and black, Latour in the Soul red colors, the inside of row number 2, and Owen another green and white car in the outside of row 2, and we're green at Indianapolis. Beret to the inside, Urrutia to the outside, nearly side by side, and now Latour will make it 3 wide going into turn number 1. Latour gets there first. Can he make it stick?
Oh, look at that, just runs a little bit wide, and now Beret is going to be on the outside in turn 2, but Latour takes the lead. And contact in the rear. Someone's off the track there, but man, what a start.
We stay green as we see more smoke coming from tires, and now we see a major problem with Kevin Davis, one of the expert class drivers.
But look at this, Florian Latour. He flipped in yesterday's race, and now he's in the lead with all sorts of patched up bodywork as we see a car stranded there. Look at that Beret, so late on the brakes there. Can he make that move stick? He's going to now be on the outside of turn 8. Oh, he gets that. Wow, that was a crazy great move there for Beret.
So we may go yellow, and we will go yellow. That was Carlos Conde we saw, another one of the expert class drivers back in the pack, but we stayed green long enough for Beret, who gave up the lead in the first corner, to get it back before it went yellow. And whoa, that was a nasty contact.
Davis almost flipped over, almost like Florian Latour did in the race yesterday, so he's lucky to escape there without more damage to his car.
So difficult with a deep field when you're talking anywhere more than 14 or 15 cars to get through those first few quarters cleanly.
And this is the biggest Pro Mazda field we've seen all year. 21 drivers in the field here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course, and oh, it just gets turned. Whew, he's lucky there. He's a lucky boy.
So major damage to several cars in the back. Up front, Beret survives, and he heads to the yellow with the lead. The future stars of IndyCar compete on the Mazda road to Indy. This is Pro Mazda, the second step of a 3-step ladder at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course weekend, and a restart on lap number 3 with Timothy Beret in the green and white car, leading Florian Latour and Santi Urrutia into turn number 1.
Great restart there for Beret. It's so easy to get swallowed up by a huge draft, and as we see a lockup there for Garrett Grist deep in the field there with his teammate Jose Gutierrez on his heels. But it's so tough not to get swallowed up in the draft there on the opening lap. Such a long straightaway down towards that turn 1.
We're on tan in the black and red car we see now. 4th position, Will Owen, another green and white car for Juncos in 5th position. And that's Beret out front as they go down the long Holman Boulevard straight into turn number 7.
And he's been so quick all weekend long. He's been so strong. Look at this now. Pato O'Ward looking at his cousin Jose Gutierrez around the inside. Neil Alberico deep in the field. He's trying to make his way back through after a disastrous qualifying session where he was outside the top 10.
Alberico way back in the starting lineup in this one compared to where he's normally at. Trying to pick his way through the field. Really fascinating first lap with Beret losing the lead to Latour in corner number 1, but then getting it back before the yellow flew for contact at the tail end of the field in corners 1 and 2.
And just have a look at this now, working their way through turn 14. Now they're going to get themselves lined up for the best passing zone on the track. Who is close enough to get a draft? Pato O'Ward there has a good run right here. Is he going to try the outside? He is. Jose Gutierrez now has to be super late on the brakes to cover Pato. Oh, are they going to go side by side? Oh, they are. And side by side through turn 2 as well. Wow, what a great battle. But Jose Gutierrez able to hang on to that spot. That is some pretty hairy stuff right there.
And that's great driving by these two young drivers, too, giving each other just barely enough room to get through there without making contact.
And I wonder if that's the family ties right there, because these guys are cousins, so maybe they race each other just a little bit more nicely than, let's say, Wear and Tan and Will Owen do right here. Wear and so late on the brake there into turn 7 and snags that spot from Will Owen.
Let's go back to this, what we were talking about a moment ago with the cousins through turn 1 and 2 side by side.
Oh, Pato O'Ward is a wheelman. He is super sideways there. Full opposite lock as we see now Victor Franzoni, who's making his series debut in Pro Mazda, having moved up from USF 2000. Again, he was a multiple race winner in USF 2000 and has now stepped up into Pro Mazda and has been so strong so far.
Good racing throughout in the early stages here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the road course. And already lap traffic in the inside there. We're seeing Kevin Davis, who was involved in that contact, so that's who the cars are getting by. And two of the Yukos drivers going at it there. That's Garrett Grist in the 5 car going around Will Owen in the 23.
It did not look like he was close enough there, but right at the final little bit of the brake release there, he just pops out and takes that move over on his Yukos teammate. So that was a good move there for Garrett Grist, and now he's got to set his sights on Victor Franzoni and try and chase him down. Again, Garrett Grist is a multiple race winner in Pro Mazda. He won 2 races last year and was so strong with Andretti Autosport. And so far this year, he's actually struggled a bit with the championship winning team of Juncos Racing. So he's looking to rebound and have a strong second half of the season, and this was certainly a good move on his part.
The third Juncos car we've seen there in our picture is Jose Gutierrez, and he's working on that white car of Daniel Burkett.
And Daniel Burkett as well, another rookie coming into the season. He did USF 2000 for the past 2 years, now stepping up the Mazda Road to Indy ladder with Cape Motorsports with Wayne Taylor Racing. Such a strong team, but look at Santi Arruti here. He's enjoyed a strong rookie season so far with a win, and now he's on track for another podium right now.
Arruti won at NOLA, finished 3rd and 2nd at Barber, 4th yesterday. Seeing if he can step it up just a little bit more in his first campaign in Pro Mazda. Beret up front. Latour about 3 car lengths behind in 2nd position. Arrutia, we look at him now in 3rd position, the 18-year-old from Uruguay.
Great opportunity for him to close in on that championship lead that Neil Alberico has. It was 14 points, but now it's going to be a lot closer if he can maintain this position, and Neil Alberico continues to struggle.
Right now, everybody is chasing Timothy Beret of Yukos Racing. It's Pro Mazda from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on NBCSN. Recapping the 2nd quarter of the Mazda Road to Indy Championship. Throughout the month of May, 3 races for Pro Mazda at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. With Anders Krohn, I'm Kevin Lee. Timothy Beret, the pole sitter, is the leader. He gave it up in the first corner of the opening lap to Florian Latour, who runs in 2nd, as we see Burkett going off course. He stays back on.
Look at that. Him and Pato O'Ward now are going to fight tooth and nail coming onto that long back straightaway. Let's see if Pato can line him up for a pass here.
Burkett went through the runoff in turn number 1. Now he's going into turn number 7, trying to hang on to that position and not give up anymore. Pato O'Ward is right on him.
Just a little bit of a reactionary move there into turn 7. He did not want Pato to get past him right now, and it's a tough situation right now for Daniel because he's got really, really dirty tires. As soon as you go off the track, you are going to collect a lot of dust, and look at this. Oh, he just outbrakes himself just a little bit, and now he's going to take the escape route, which is on the outside of turn 1, and oh, he overshoots the escape route. And look at that, the tires are going to be super dirty, and as you can see now, Pato was able to pounce and get past him. Wow.
But he does take the most direct path back onto the course, though, so a little bit of a shortcut. You give up a little bit of cleanliness to your tires. Burkett's having a nice season. He's had some good results, the young Canadian from Winnipeg. As I was mentioning, Latour got the lead very briefly in lap 1, but Beret got it back before the caution came out when they got around to lap number 7, and Beret has led since.
Yeah, and it's so impressive to see here. Beret, a rookie to the series. He tested at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course last fall and was quick already, but since then has only developed and developed and developed with his Juncos racing crew. And the interesting fact here is when you look at the results in Pro Mazda this year, it's largely been dominated by rookies to the series. In USF 2000, we've seen all the veterans, all the returning drivers dominating. But this year so far, it's been super competitive in Pro Mazda and rookies at the top of the field.
Speaking of Juncos Racing, they made news in the month of May announcing that they're moving to Speedway to open up a shop by sometime next year. They've been in the Brownsburg area and have designs on moving to IndyCar, probably not next year, but at some point down the road.
Yeah, I almost think they would have to. With a 42,000 square foot facility, they almost have to move up to IndyCar. But Ricardo Juncos of Juncos Racing have grown up a great team, and as we look at Pato Award here, he's now trying to pull away from Daniel Burkett and doing a good job at that. Pato, such an exciting youngster to the series, only 15 years old.
15 years old and in the second step of the Mazda Road to Indy is very impressive. We've seen some 15-year-olds in USF 2000, but 2 steps away from IndyCar. That's some quick advancement for that young man.
And also racing at the IMS road course at 160 miles an hour there into the brake zone. Here's a returning driver, Scott Hargrove. He did a few Indy Lights races earlier on this year and is now back in Pro Mazda with JDC Motorsports for a one-off. He hasn't had the weekend that he expected, but he's showing some strong pace right here, overtaking Latif.
Hargrove won both races in Pro Mazda here on the road course at Indianapolis last year, 2 of his 3 wins in 2014, and did well at St. Petersburg, I think 4th and 6th for 8-Star Motorsports, but funding is always an issue, and he's still looking for an opportunity to get back to Indy Lights. In the meantime, let's stay sharp and run in Pro Mazda.
Yeah, such a talented youngster from Canada as he's pushing his way through turn 8, 9, 10 here.
Timothy Beret is the leader. Florian Latour and Santi Urrutia chasing him in Pro Mazda. This is the Mazda Road to Indy at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Pro Mazda, the second of 3 races on Grand Prix weekend, and a battle for 3rd position. Santi Urrutia in the yellow car, we're on tan, who won race number 1 in the black car, and headed down to turn number 7. Tan in the black car to the outside, trying to pick up the spot.
But look at that, Santi laid on the brakes there into turn 7, and Wehron is unable to make that move. Now through that technical sector of 8, 9, and 10. Wehron's next opportunity is going to be into turn 12, but it looks like Santi is able to just pull out a little bit of an advantage through that turn 10.
Headed to the final minutes of this event. And Timothy Beret, we got to look at him there in the green and white car. The sole red car of Latour is in 2nd position. Here's 3rd right here, so they're all still within range if the front 2 were to come together.
And it's so easy to race closely here at the IMS road course. A lot of long straightaways that induce a lot of drafting. And as you can see up there, Florian Latour is trying to pick up the draft of Beret. And here Tan is trying to pick up the draft of Urrutia. A lot of racing all the way through the field.
Front 4 have checked out just a little bit. Beret trying not to make a mistake with about a 3-car length advantage. It's a little tighter in the battle for 3rd position.
And boy, what a huge victory this would be for Beret if he could pull it off as a rookie to the Pro Mazda Series. Look at this now. Garrett Grist is going to try the inside-outside move there on Victor Franzoni. Now he's got to get a good exit out of turn 4 to get in the draft here to set him up for turn 7, which is a long, long run down here to a hard brake zone.
As we've talked about, the Mazda Road to Indy is the path to IndyCar, and this is a great experience throughout the month for these young drivers. As we take a look at Grist going to the outside, and he's got a Juncos teammate there lurking right behind him.
And they're all pushing so hard, and you want to know why, Kevin? Because at the end of the season, it's a $650,000 check to move up to the next rung on the ladder, the Indy Lights Series, and that's what all these guys and gals are pushing for.
And Grist is in the championship mix. He is 6th coming into this one.
Look at this, Victor Franzoni outbrakes himself a little bit into turn 12. This is a perfect opportunity for Garrett Grist now to set up. He's got to be early on power here out of turn 13. He is close enough. Oh, he is close enough, but so is Will Owen to Garrett Grist. This could be pretty crazy here coming into turn 1. Franzoni is going to take them all the way down to that wall across the yard of bricks right there. Now let's see. Garrett Grist, he's going to pop. He's going to pop to the outside. Does he have enough of a run here? And he's trying to block his teammate,
Whoa.
Will Owen. Garrett gets the move, but late on the brakes. Oh.
And now Owen is going to have an opportunity at him, and Owen is someone in the championship fight. And there's Gutierrez, another Juncos car coming into the mix.
And Ricardo Juncos must not be enjoying this right now. He wants to see all his cars finish the race, but boy, this is a hard-fought battle, which has now allowed Victor Franzoni to pull away, but Garrett Grist, he's in the thick of it today.
And they've got another race coming up this weekend. Owen to the inside, 5th in race number 1, trying to get a little bit better.
Oh, he tried the mover on the outside to turn 7, and now Jose Gutierrez is going to get past Will Owen. This is some crazy racing we're seeing.
All among teammates, and they have kept it clean enough.
But just about clean enough. There hasn't been any contact, but there's been just about anything but that. But look at Bure here. Just a picture-perfect day for him. He qualified on the pole by about a 10.5, and now he's just been controlling the race all race long.
And time is running out, and we will see the white flag. This time, Timothy Bure has just under 2.5 miles before he can become a winner at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and looking for his first victory in the U.S.
The only thing that can hamper his progress right now are those lapped back markers that he's about to catch here. It's important for him that he catches them at the right time, so hopefully for him, he can catch them down the back straight going into turn 7.
On board with Wear on Tan, running in 4th position, trying to catch up to Santi Urrutia. And a little further back, that's Grist in 6th position, 6, 7, and 8 for the Juncos teammates.
And there it is. Bure is lucky there. He catches him on the run down into turn 7. And from here, Latour will only realistically have one more shot at getting him, and that's into turn 12. But right now, he does have the advantage, and it doesn't look like he's going to be faced at all. What a day for Bure.
Florian Latour, the USF 2000 champion last year. He's just 18 years old from France. He's going to have a good day, but not quite good enough unless Bure makes a mistake in one of the final 3 corners.
And now Bure just has to be early on the power there out of turn 13. He does. He will not be phased at all. Here he is.
He's finished 2nd a couple of times, including yesterday. Timothy Bure is going to make his first win in America at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Timothy Bure has won for Juncos at IMS in Pro Mazda.
What a huge win for him, and as a rookie to the Pro Mazda Series, this is huge. He now also closes in on that championship battle.
Final results, the PFC award goes to Juncos Racing, the Quartermaster Hard Charger award to Victor Franzoni, and the Stabli award to Florian Latour. Let's hear from the winner.
It's amazing, my first win in the United States. Here in Indianapolis, I'm live here, you know, a couple kilometers about the track. It's so happy. First win for me. It's amazing here. With my father come to see me for the first time. It's a dream. It's a dream. The race was very interesting. The first corner, I lost 1 position, but I come back on Latour at turn 7 in the first lap. After the restart, I keep my position, so I'm really happy about that. No word is just I'm very happy.
Very dominant day for the 19-year-old from France. Here's our replay XD move of the race. It's Victor Franzoni, who picked up 4 spots, started 9th and finished 5th, and made good use with a little bit of the chrome horn there at the beginning. Well, a 3rd race at IMS, and Santi Urrutia got his 2nd win of the season. Urrutia wins for Team Pelfrey at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will Owen finishes 2nd, Bure on the podium again. And then it's to the oval at Lucas Oil Raceway, and Wear on Tan celebrates with a very dominant performance, winning the Lucas Oil Raceway Freedom 90 the day before the Indianapolis 500. Tan wins for Andretti Autosport, another runner-up for Juncos' Will Owen, and then Neil Alberico back on the podium. So we're past the midpoint of the season now, thinking about championship and Mazda Speed scholarship money to move up to Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires. And this is how the championship looks. Urrutia now 8 points in front of Neil Alberico. Anders, it's going to be tight to the finish.
Boy, has it been close, and it's getting even closer now. Neil only 8 points behind Santi Urrutia, and beret and wear and tan. I have no idea what's going to happen next, but this season has been great and will continue to be great.
Next up for the Mazda Road to Indy in Toronto. For Anders Crone, I'm Kevin Lee. Thanks for joining us on NBCSN.